what's up? It's GVKcollectibles, and you know what day it is? It is Mythical Mountain. It's Monday, so it's Mythical Mountain Monday. So today, as you all know with Mythical Mountain Mondays, we're going to be taking a look back at some of the comics that I read and what some of my opinions on them are, and what I liked, and you'll get to see my top recommendations. So there's going to be, well, my two top picks, so this is pretty much the comics that I got this week. But there'll be two, for the two recommendations, the two other recommendations are going to be a little bit different. They're actually going to be graphic novels. So, with that out of the way, let's jump into the first book. It was Wonder Woman number 771, continuing the story that Diana is in, well, Valhalla, and she is trying to figure out what is going on, because there is a warrior that she... she's trying to talk with, Thor to say that there are warriors disappearing and they don't know where they're going. So, and Thor, it's actually kind of funny because this is heavily dealing with Norse mythology, and Thor isn't anywhere near, I think he's a lot more accurate to his depiction in Norse mythology as opposed to the Marvel one, so don't think Chris Hemsworth. Think of him just this big burly dude. So basically, Diana's trying to figure out what's happening and what's going on in the world. It's very much a kind of her exploring, and she doesn't even know why she's there because she keeps having visions of somebody's talking to her. We don't know who that is. So, but it is really, really cool. A lot of cool action, a lot of, a big, very heavily story book, which was crazy, and she was trying to figure out who's forging these weapons that have enchantments, and it's Dr. Psycho. So it's super funny because even though Dr. Psycho has been, I think, a character for Wonder Woman for a while, my exposure to Dr. Psycho is the Harley Quinn show, and he's funny in that, so it is very interesting and cool to see. He looks like how he does in the cartoon, which is so funny. Not as ridiculous over the top, but it is really, really fun. So basically it's just Diana trying to figure out what's happening, where the Valkyries are at, because the Valkyries essentially protect the world, and she's trying to find what happened to this warrior Steinfeld, or Seinfeld, I believe, Fred, I believe, who really helped her get into her own with into Asgard or Valhalla. I believe it's Valhalla or Asgard, but it's really, really cool, and it's really fun. It takes unique directions within the Wonder Woman mythos of where it's really cool that it's delving into the kind of the more mythology side of the Wonder Woman character, which I think is really, really cool. Kind of what at the beginning of the New 52 with a lot of the God of War stuff, which is really, really cool. But yeah, Wonder Woman 771, pretty fun. It was a fun book. I really loved it. The art, the writing is really, really great. This is pretty much the whole same creative team. The writers, by the way, who did Immortal Wonder Woman, which I absolutely loved. It was probably one of my favorite Future State books, I think. It was really, really great. So, with the next book out of the way, so this is actually a fun one. So, it is Darkhawk, Heart of the Hawk. So, this book is essentially kind of reintroducing Darkhawk, because recently Marvel had gotten the rights back to the character, and they're putting out this one-shot to basically kind of give an overview and reintroduce the character into the Marvel Pantheon, which I think is really, really cool. And really fun, because it was a character I had really no experience of talking about. So basically, it's consisted of 3 stories set in different time periods. One kind of set in when Darkhawk gets his powers first, and each are consistent of different writers. Mainly the other two, the last two, are done by, the second story is done by Dan Abnett, who is currently doing a lot of the Red Sonja and Vampirella books. I actually think the Red Sonja book, if I'm completely right. He's doing the Red Sonja book. He did Fire and Stone. He's really, really good writer. And also the third story is done by Kyle Higgins. Kyle Higgins is currently doing he did Rise of Ultraman and Trials of Ultraman, which was really, really great. So yeah, but it's kind of cool because it takes different points of time during the Chris. I believe it's Chris. His name is Chris. I'm trying to remember his name. Darkhawk. It is Chris. Sorry, I'm just trying to find out the name. Chris Powell, who is a like just this kid who just goes to a theme park and discovers this jewel of where he can transform into Darkhawk. So it is really, really cool, and you get to see different points throughout Darkhawk's history, which is really, really cool. It is very interesting. It's going to be a cool reintroduction of the characters. This is essentially just a reintroduction of the character. In the comics, there are 3 stories. I will put all the creative teams on each book throughout the whole, like, the video of me talking about it. But yeah, it's just a really, really fun book, and it makes me excited to see the future of Darkhawk, because they said coming later this year, Darkhawk soars again, so I do think they are going to be doing a complete solo series with this character, which I think is going to be really, really fun. Really fun and really unique. So yeah, but, like, I enjoyed it. The art on each story, really, really great. The writing's really good. I love Dan Abnett's writing, and even the writing in the first story, who I'm probably going to be mispronouncing the name, but as I always put the creative teams, Danny Fingeroth, I believe, or Fingeroth, I believe is his name, and that one was pretty cool because it was just kind of Darkhawk exploring the city and kind of patrolling the city, which was really, really fun. So I do definitely suggest, if you do have this book, if you are interested in the Darkhawk mythos at all, or the character of Darkhawk, definitely pick this up. It's a very interesting read, and you also get a wonderful cover by Lee In Hung, which is really, really beautiful. So, the next book, it was number 1 of 7 of the challenges of the Super Sons. So Super Sons, this is Peter J. Tomasi. He's coming back for writing this 7-issue mini, and it's fun. Like, it's a fun little book. So it's about Jonathan and Damian kind of going through. There's these different challenges of where somebody's going to get killed. So, like, the main crux of the story, the Flash is going to get killed, and they got to stop the Flash. But it's really fun, and I'm actually really excited to see where this series continues. I never read the original Super Sons run by, I believe, Tomasi as well, but I do love Jonathan Kent. I really love Damian, hitting his interactions with Jonathan. I think they're really, really cool and like a fun dynamic. I'm really excited to see where this story continues to go. The art is really, really great. The writing is really, really cool. Jonathan and both Damian are very lovable characters in this book. I love it. And I'm very excited to see this series continue. It's as much as somebody where I should read and this definitely makes me want to go back and pick up that original run of Super Sons. So yeah, it's a good book. It was a fun read, I should say. So this next one is really, really interesting. So it is called Spider-Man, Spider Shadows. This is done by Chip Zdarsky, who is, he recently did Life Story of Spider-Man, which took basically every decade Spider-Man did, and it was a really, really well written story. So this is actually a what-if title, but instead of it being like a one-shot, it's a 4-issue mini, and the crux of it is, the whole basis of the story is, what if Peter Parker didn't get rid of the symbiote suit, then therefore it would have gone up to Eddie Brock, then you had all these events. So it's basically just him, it's kind of an alternate take of, like, what if he had the suit, and it goes through the period of time of where Peter is having, like, a rough time. Peter usually roughly has a rough time all the time, because that's usually the crux of his character. He's usually struggling, but it is very interesting. The story gets really, really dark, and Zdarsky, I think, is a really, really good writer. I think a lot of people, I could be completely wrong, this is just somebody who doesn't read too much Spider-Man. He's usually, a lot of people consider him to be the definitive Spider-Man writer, because he gets the character, and he has a fun time with the character. There are, I think, there's a lot of cool moments with it, because it kind of, like, he's having problems with everybody. Like, he's having problems with Batcat, Mary Jane and Aunt May. Then stuff happens of where you kind of learn the symbiote. It's the symbiote, and it's kind of coming the venom. So I am very excited, and it, like, ends on a super, super dark note. I won't say it just because it's spoilers. Just because I do think you should definitely read this book. But yeah, the writing's really, really good. The art is really, really good. I'm very excited to see where this 4-issue mini is going to go, because I think it's going to be really, really cool, and it's also a cool flip on the what if title, I think, and I'm very excited to see where this story goes. So yeah, Spider-Man Web of Shadows, I really enjoyed it, really liked it. So well, camera's about to cut out, so I will be right back. Only be a second for you guys, you wonderful folks at home. Hey guys, what's up? I'm back. So the next book, some of these are out of place, but I kind of wanted to say also, well, I'll mention it with the Wonder Woman book. A lot with the newer DC books, they also include backup stories, much like the Batman title focused on the Ghostmaker, and the Wonder Woman book focuses on the younger stories of Diana. Those are all pretty fun. Like, I think the backups are really fun with each issue. So that kind of leads us into the next book, and it's one of the big ones of the Trinity. It is Superman from Philip Kennedy Johnson, who is currently doing. He did the World. Future State book. He also did the House of L book, which I thought was really good. And he's also currently doing the Aliens run right now at Marvel. But man, he is taking over both titles. He's taking over Superman and Action Comics, and I gotta say, it's pretty fun. As somebody who has never really delved into Superman, my very first experience of reading a Superman comic was All-Star Superman from Grant Morrison, and it's usually the ideal version of the Man of Steel. Really enjoyed that book. That book is phenomenal. Also read a little bit of the beginning of Peter J. Tomasi's run on Superman during Rebirth, which I loved. I loved it, so it was really cool to get into this. So Philip K. Johnson basically said that he was going to explore more of the cosmic side of Superman, which I think is a really cool idea. Because Superman, like, you have a lot of stories within Metropolis, but you also have some, like, he's an explorer too. Like, he is literally, like, so you could say Superman is the world's most interesting man to say, of where, like, he's a scientist, he understands, he's a reporter, but he, like, likes to keep his feet on the ground, which is really cool. So what it starts with, it actually starts with a cool scene of, like, just Clark, Lois, and John just playing putt-putt, and it's a fun moment. Like, it's a fun little family moment with them. I know a lot of people were very upset when Brian Michael Bendis actually aged Jonathan up, but I do think it works here just because he's a teenager, and it's like you see them having fun, and it's actually cool because in the book, and of how it's setting up, I don't know if this is going to be how it's going to be set up for the future of the book, but Jonathan is going along with Superman, and he's kind of like learning the ropes of learning how to be Superman, which I think is really cool, and it's really well written, and like, it's very cool to explore a lot of the cosmic side of things with the Superman character. I think is really cool. But you still get that, like, feel where Superman is a very relatable character. This is still, like, a Superman that I personally love. I love this version of Superman. Basically, what happens is he gets a distress call from a planet that he helped out long ago, and he kind of learns that the person who he was friends with, or wasn't really friends with, but because he didn't really like him, but he gave him the distress signal to basically, if anything went wrong, there's something going wrong. But I am very interesting. This was the first issue of Philip Kennedy Johnson's run. I'm very excited to see the series continue. I'm actually probably going to pick this up. It also includes a fun story, side story called Tales from Metropolis, which I will put the creative team down below. But it was really cool. It shows kind of the more of the Superman side of like the other characters within the Superman mythos, which is really cool because you get, like, there's really cool things, but it focuses on this character that I'm not really too familiar with, but I really loved him. It was Ambush Bug, and he's kind of like this insect detective, like a very noir kind of detective, and it's really cool, and he's kind of hanging out with, but it was like really fun. It's a really fun story, and you also get to see other members of the kind of the Superman team. You see Steel in there because basically Jimmy Olsen's kind of debriefing them all on this on the things that are going on with this group, which is really cool. But I think it's a fun book. Like, I am very excited to continue reading this story. Philip K. Johnson, I feel, does a really good job of writing Superman, I think. And a lot of, like, because a lot of the monologue that Superman gives, like, talking about Jonathan, basically saying how much of like, it's really well written from a point of view of Superman being a father to Jonathan and wanting to see him continue his bright future. I do think I am definitely going to be continue reading this book. It very much sets up stuff for the future. I'm very excited to read it. It is very unique, very different. and something comparative that I haven't really seen too much of the Superman mythos of, where, with the exception I think of All-Star Superman, which it deals with a little cosmic stuff there, but this is like really the first time in main continuity of main ongoing book I've read of Superman, and I'm very impressed with it. So I'm excited to continue reading this book. Yeah, there's nothing more I can say about Superman, but like Superman 30, absolutely fantastic, I think. So we're getting down to the top books. One other book that I read was Wolverine. Wolverine has been done by Benjamin Percy, who is the same writer as X-Force, I believe, and they continue a story that they set up within the X-Force books with Dracula, which is very interesting and very cool, because they are actually after Wolverine's blood. So basically, I guess because of the Wolverine's healing factor, if they drink the blood or do like blood transfusion or whatever that they're trying, like, that have that kind of supply, they're able to stay on the sun. And Dracula is creating much like Krakoa, like with the mutants in Krakoa, he's creating a vampire nation, which is really, really cool and really fun. Omega Red is in this book, who was apparently supposed to be in Falcon Winter Soldier. That didn't end up happening. I mean, it could still happen. We could get a reference drop to him or something. But it is a really, really fun book. I love Wolverine as a character, and I've been loving, since of picking this book up. I didn't pick up the initial beginning of the run. It wasn't until, like, X of Swords that I really, really, I read the whole book, and I picked up the Wolverine books, and I really love it. There's a lot of cool action of just Wolverine dishing out vampires, which is really, really cool. And it's cool because like, if you read X-Force, the story definitely, it complements this, the continuing of the story arc, which I think is really, really great, and really well done. But yeah, I think it's very unique, and they're trying to basically find where the hell Dracula is, and they're trying to get information, because Omega Red is kind of like a double agent, to say the least, although he doesn't know that, because they put a kind of like a tracker in him, essentially, to like follow where the hell he's going, and he doesn't know that, and they managed to back his memory up of where he doesn't remember that part of the surgery. So it is very, very interesting. I'm very interested to see where the story continues off after this, and continue to see where it goes in next, because dealing with Dracula is really, really fun. Like, I think it's fun and cool that they're dealing with Dracula within this book. So yeah, Wolverine, definitely a great pick, I think. I really loved it, and it also introduced a character named, but it's a fun book. It has a character named Luis, who is like kind of like this vampire hunter, which is really, really cool. So I'm very excited to see what is in store for Wolverine 12. So, with the next book, this is going to be the kind of second to last before we get into the main recommendations for this week. It is frickin' Star Wars Bounty Hunters number 11. And this book is really, like, I loved this issue, because it is, while this issue, I feel like a lot of it is setting up for the War of the Bounty Hunters that will be coming later, I think in May. The prelude is apparently the next issue of Bounty Hunters is a prelude to War of Bounty Hunters, so they're setting up for that event. But it's cool, because essentially you get to see Bosk be a badass in this, like, because he's getting hunted. It's kind of like the world's most dangerous game, if you're very familiar with that story, the short story, where there's just a dude who hunts people. It's kind of like that, but they hunt other bounty hunters, and like the other these other hunters that are there to hunt, like, just kind of weaker prey, don't stand a chance against Bosk, because he's a Trandoshan. He's bred to hunt. And it's really cool. You also get introductions here. You get to see Bid Fortuna, too. But it's really, really cool, and you get to see also the subplot, while the main plot focuses on Bosk, kind of the side, or the closing, the bookends of the issue, focus on Valance and Dengar working together, because they're trying to find where the hell Boba Fett is. So it's trying to get Solo so they can get the money and reward from Jabba, which is going to be really fun. I'm super, super excited for War of the Bounty Hunters. They already teased frickin' Dirge from the Clone Wars, the Getty Tarkovsky Clone Wars. He's coming back in the story, so I'm very excited to see where this book continues in Star Wars. I'm very excited for this upcoming event. because usually Star Wars events are really fantastic. Vader Down was one of their first, and it was probably, to me, one of the best Star Wars events that they have done. So, with the next, so my number 3 recommendation for, I guess, this week, it is Joker number 2. This book is great. I was kind of a little worried about the book when they first announced this book, just because I thought it was going to be, oh, it's going to be a Joker solo series, so it's going to split, but no, it's just Gordon hunting down Batman, hunting down the Joker, which is really, really cool. And he talks to Batman saying, hey, I'm going to be doing this, and Batman's kind of like, that's okay, like, he's cool with it, but he doesn't know, Jim doesn't tell Batman he is contemplating that he may kill the Joker, because I'm trying to remember the lady's name, but basically it's kind of like a young, the woman that hired Gordon to find the Joker is going to be very, very interesting. And as I continuously say that, the camera's about to cut out, so I will be right back once again, hopefully the last time. See you guys in a second. I am back once again, hopefully for the last time. And so the lady who hired is named Crescenda, who is like kind of like this high up person. We actually eventually, at the end of the book, I won't say, it's a cool reveal at the end of the book who she like is truly kind of working for. I won't say it, but it is like, the reveal is fantastic. I loved it. But basically of what we're learning, like Jim Gordon is like also asked Batman, hey, I'm going to need access to the back computer so I know where to find contacts. And Barbara chips in as Oracle, and basically you kind of learn, like, Batman wants to take Joker in by the book, essentially, and Gordon says that makes sense to me, while not necessarily agreeing to say, yeah, we'll do that, kind of hiding the fact that he's going to kill, may or may not kill the Joker. It's actually cool. Oracle, Barbara pitches in, but then it's kind of revealed Jim knows Barbara's working with Batman and is Oracle, and by extension is Batgirl, which is really, really cool. And from what I understand, I don't think it's ever been established in the main continuity currently. Ever since the beginning of the New 52, all the way from Rebirth DC Universe, they haven't really like definitively said, oh yeah, Jim knows Barbara is Oracle Batgirl, but they have, it's really, really cool because they eventually have like this conversation about the Joker and of like what they're gonna do, and it's like, they also said that like Barbara, like, it was kind of like, he's not mad at Barbara of what happened to Jim Gordon Jr., who James, basically what happened, he was kind of under, like, he was trying to be rehabilitated because he was kind of he was a psychopath. He was trying to be rehabilitated. Then the Joker kind of twisted his mind. Then like he eventually, like, he died in Batgirl 49 or 50, I believe. And he was kind of like, he kind of regrets saying that because he was old. He was angry, but like he doesn't really hold it against Barbara. But it is really cool because they have the idea of Barbara, like, I'm not gonna help you kill the Joker. I'm like, you don't need to. But if there's no, like, we'll do the way that we usually do, bring him in by the book, and if that doesn't work, we'll talk about it. But basically, Jim Gordon is getting pretty much set up to get ready to hunt the Joker down, which is really cool. Basically, Barbara gives him a phone that basically has access to the back computer, which is really, really cool. So it is really cool. It's just Jim being a really cool detective. Like, it's a Jim Gordon detective book. This is essentially what it is. It is really cool. You also get different families because they eventually learn, because of the A-Day attack, the Joker has soured some people and had killed a few people here and there, mainly Bane being one of the big ones, and also this other family known as the, oh god, what is it? I'm trying to find it. The Samsons, who are essentially give off a heavy Sawyer family vibe from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Then you have Bane's daughter coming into it, and she's going to be hunting that too. And there's also the big reveal of who Carissa is working for, but I won't say it here just because it is a huge spoiler and a huge revelation. But there's also, like with all, as I said, with all the other books, there are the the backup stories with, and this one is continuing the Punchline story, which I think is really, really great. Basically, it's just Harper Row working for Leslie Tompkins, I believe, Leslie Tompkins, to basically say what, like, kind of figuring out the history of Punchline, of what made her the way she is. So it is really, really fun and really good. I very much like the backup stories in this book. As I said, mainly with this book, Joker, absolutely phenomenal. I think this is one of the best. I think it's arguably a little better than the Batman run right now, even though it's kind of weird to say, but like just the stakes and everything that Titan is writing on in this book is fantastic. I'm very excited to see this story continue, and especially the Punchline story. I've been enjoying really all the stories in this book. The art is phenomenal. The writing is really, really great. I love how it focuses on Jim Gordon. Like, as I said, even though it's called The Joker, it's more of a Jim Gordon detective book, which I really, really love. So, yeah, that is my number 3 recommendation, Joker. So, with jumping into my top recommendations, so I'm going to do these two at the same time. So my number 1 and my number 2 recommendations, these came out recently, and one of the movies that I've been loving recently has been Godzilla vs. Kong, and it is both prequel graphic novels to Godzilla vs. Kong. So we got Kingdom Kong and Godzilla Dominion. So which one did I like the most? Well, it's really, really cool because they both are very different. Kingdom Kong is very much a more narrative-driven story. It focuses on human characters along with Kong, while the Godzilla Dominion book, it is very much like the old some of the older Dark Horse comics when they had the license for Godzilla. The POV is exclusively on Godzilla, which is really, really cool. Both these books are fantastic, and they also add like a lot of context for the movie, because I think there's a lot of people who complained about each of these, the Godzilla vs. Kong, there wasn't really a lot of context in between of like what happened. These books change that. These books give context of what happens, like the first the idea of the training of the first Hollow Earth mission, why Skull Island has a storm, where did the Iwi go. All this is explained in this book, and it's really, really well done, and it really ties in really well with the story. Kazamat, who is the main enemy, like this giant bat monster for Kong, is really, really cool, and it also focuses on a pilot who had, assumingly, like of what I'm going to be gathering, in 2019, was a pilot during Ghidorah's attack, essentially when he awoken all the Titans, and she had a run-in with Kazamat. Or I think a specific breed, I'm not sure, but the fight is really, really cool, and you also get to see, there's a lot of cool stuff, because they bring in a lot of cool things. One of them, they bring in the Icarus Tiger from the concepts from Skull Island, which is a beautiful looking concept, but yeah, this gives a lot of context and a lot of context clues of what the Kong story is about, which is really, really good. Then you also got Godzilla Dominion, which is basically his POV of him looking for a new lair, since in King of the Monsters, his lair is destroyed of the atomic bomb to basically recharge him to fight Ghidorah. But it's really, really cool. I love the POV. He's kind of like, and it shows like what Godzilla's doing, because Ghidorah, even like in the text, because it's Godzilla's point of view, he's like, Ghidorah kind of ruined everything of where all the Titans are waking up, and there's not enough resources, so he's got to like play cards with everybody, and it's really, really beautiful. There's a lot of cool, beautiful moments in the book, especially like him recollecting like Mothra gave her life to save him, which is, you get this like beautiful shot right here, which I absolutely love. But both these books I think are really, really fantastic. I do suggest definitely picking these two up. They're really great, really wonderful books, and yeah, that's all the good things I have to say. So those are my 3 recommendations. We got Joker number 2 by James Titan, and we got Godzilla Dominion and Kingdom Kong. So yeah, that's Mythical Mountain Monday for everybody. So with that being said, I hope you guys liked the video. Make sure to hit subscribe and hit the little bell notification so you get notified when Mythical Mountain Mondays, What's in the Box Wednesday, Figure Review Fridays are released. Check us out on our respective Mercari shops at Jack's Pop. Also check us out on Instagram, GVKcollectibles, Jack's Pop Guy. Also, check out my Facebook page on Facebook. As I said, I uploaded a new one. So, yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and peace.